of 31-year-old Cole Thomas Allen, with early signs pointing to a lone wolf attack. But major questions remain about how a man armed with a shotgun, handgun and knives got so close to the president inside the Washington hotel. Political commentator Ted Goodman has been speaking to people who were in the room. Ted, thanks for joining me tonight. Let's start with the alleged attacker. What do we know about him?
That's right, and good evening. Thanks for having me. Cole Thomas Allen, 31 years old, is accused of rushing a security checkpoint armed with a shotgun, handgun, and several knives. He reportedly exchanged gunfire with police just outside the main ballroom. He rushed the checkpoint. By all accounts, it does appear that the security measures in place did work, as he was quickly neutralized. He's 31 years old, from Southern California, Torrance, which is just south of Los Angeles. We do know that he is a 2017 graduate of Caltech, the California Institute of Technology, which is a prestigious private research university in California. And he reportedly graduated in 2017 and worked a brief time as a video game developer and also a part-time teacher. So we're still learning more this morning. The president, the first lady, the vice president, and top administration officials were quickly rushed out of the room, and no injuries reported.
Aside from the security guy who got shot in the chest but was fortunately saved by his vest, we understand...
That's right.
We understand the alleged shooter had checked into the hotel as a guest prior to the Washington correspondent's dinner. Is that how he was able to smuggle guns inside? And then where did he assemble the guns? Did he assemble...
How was he able to check in at the hotel when most of these hotels be booked up? And how did he know to check in at the hotel on those days? I'm just saying, maybe he had intel, maybe he was working with a whole nother entity. You just never know nowadays, right? Maybe he was working with a whole nother entity. You never know nowadays. Maybe he was sent, maybe he was CIA, maybe he was intelligence from other things. So basically, I'm giving you an update on the person, which is Cole Thomas Allen. Y'all know what happened at the correspondent dinner. So he's now famous. He's now famous, but something just ain't adding up to me. That's just what I think. I don't want to say that this is a stage play because I don't want to go down the conspiracy thing. But at the same time, something just ain't right. How did he book that hotel? How did he know that they was having that meeting? If that was like they don't announce that correspondent dinner months in advance, and if they did, the hotels would be booked months in advance. Think about it. I don't really get that part, but leave y'all thoughts down below. Let me know what you think, because something just ain't right.
All those in his room and then presumably, I don't know, come down in the elevator, or how did he actually come to have guns that he was able to use to shoot?
That's right. Our understanding from eyewitness accounts is that you were not able to enter the premise from off the street per se. You would have had to have gone through some checkpoints where a gun would have been confiscated from you had you had one. However, for individuals who were staying at the hotel, there may have been some weak points in that you were able to get the handgun that close to the president.
Prior, which means that this was premeditated, if you ask me. Prior, right? Prior, which means that this was premeditated, if you ask me. So it's something that's going on that we just got to sit down and talk about. Can we talk about it? It's something that's going on that we got to sit down and talk about it. But let's continue, because we're going to see what the people are saying about these things after this one.
But again, security measures did appear to work, as he did rush the checkpoint, but was quickly neutralized by Secret Service and law enforcement officials. again, that is there have been numerous conversations happening overnight over the lack of security. But again, I want to stress that, of course, at the end of the day, security measures in place did protect the president and all those in attendance, where a mass shooting incident was avoided because of these security measures. Again, the individual charged the security checkpoint with both a shotgun, handgun, and knives, but he was neutralized, as you can see from the pictures, before any harm was done, outside, of course, the Secret Service individual who was shot in the chest. And as the president told us late last night, the security officers, obviously, bulletproof vest worked as intended.
Ted, just very quickly, it's been described at these early stages as a lone wolf attempt. Are people satisfied with that explanation, or are we likely to find there were other people involved in helping to set this up?
Well, that's right. Isn't it a little early, right? Of course, we understand the investigation is ongoing, so I think we want to caution before stating even something like the fact that this is a lone wolf attack when the investigation is ongoing, just as we don't know if this is tied to, of course, a number of the ongoing global conflicts or even some of these domestic issues, as we don't know what we could tie it to something, for example, what's going on in Iran. It's just as important that we don't rule out or rule in the fact that it's a lone wolf attack. So I think sometimes there's a rush to label these attacks, as lone wolf when we don't have a lot of information, right? As the investigation is ongoing, I think we should be just as hesitant to label it a lone wolf attack as we should be hesitant to try and tie this to any of the number of conflicts happening around the world without knowing more information.
Indeed. Ted Goodman, I really appreciate it.
We've gone through social media accounts linked to the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooting suspect, and this is what we find. Cole Thomas Allen's LinkedIn profile says he attended Caltech University, and we found this picture of him there, now removed from its website. He was working part-time for a company called C2 Education. They named him Teacher of the Month in this deleted Facebook post from 2024. LA County records show that Allen was registered as having no party preference, but receipts held by the Federal Election Commission show Allen did donate $25 to Kamala Harris's campaign. A document reportedly written by Allen before the attack was signed with a nickname. The BBC has not been able to verify that document. Multiple social media accounts linked to that nickname have been deleted, but we've used internet archiving tools to recover them. One of the most active was this account on Blue Sky. In January, it posted that the US would crash and burn until people step up for themselves. In early April, it slammed plans by some journalists to wear white pocket squares at the White House.
Cole Thomas Allen, the man accused in the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooting, has been charged with attempting to assassinate the President of the United States. Now, that is a charge that carries a sentence of up to life in prison if convicted. He also faces 2 additional firearms charges. Now, on Monday, Allen appeared in federal court here for his initial appearance. During that hearing, the judge unsealed the charges and read them aloud to the courtroom, where Allen just remained expressionless throughout the proceedings. At this point, the government's case is focusing on the president, but we know from Allen's letter that he likely intended to target other members of the administration. The investigation is ongoing, and they can certainly add additional charges. Allen will be back here in federal court on Thursday. Cole Thomas.
What we don't know from the manifesto is, how did this radicalization process take place?
Talk to us about this manifesto, which seems to have so much information in it. What stands out to you?
I mean, it gives us a motive. I mean, I don't think we have to be shy about it. He clearly wanted to attack the president. This was a political assassination. He was critical of the president and the president's policies or the people surrounding the president. What we don't know from the manifesto is, how did this radicalization
send another one, and then they're going to send another one, and they're going to send another person. I want to know, and the thing that I want to know is who sent them. Who sent them? That's what I would like to know. Leave your thoughts down below.
process take place. He doesn't have a criminal record. His sister says that it was relatively recent that he got involved with, at least according to her, left-wing organizations, nor does it tell us who else may have been involved with that radicalization or, in fact, the execution of what he tried to do on Saturday night.
Because that's got to be so key for Homeland Security, this idea. Is he a lone wolf, or was he part of some sort of other group which could have...
I believe that he was part of another group. Leave your thoughts down below. Put a 1 in the chat if you believe that he just did this on his own. He just woke up and said, this is what I'm going to do. Or put a 2 in the chat if you believe he had help. He had help with the hotel booking. He understands the weak points, strategic advantage. He just was the fall guy for this happening, just to let you know, hey, we're going to do another scare on the president's life. And some people are saying it was staged just to make sure that people are sensitive and have some form of regret for what's going on with Trump and us being in the war with Iran, just to get the poll numbers up. So it's a lot of angles and a lot of things that this one thing is actually affecting. And this, to me, this is how the propaganda thing begins, because now it's like, he did one thing. It's like an octopus. And he was the head, but the leg is so many different effects on it. But leave your thoughts down below.
More of a threat out there.
Right now, the FBI and even the president have been saying that he's a lone wolf in the sense that they don't see him having any nexus to any other individuals that may have helped him with this particular attack. But in the last couple of years, I've even stopped saying lone wolf to sort of describe the phenomenon we are in. And that is one in which violence is an extension of our political differences. We hear language of violence or annihilation from the very top, from the White House to, the depths of Twitter and social media, and all of it in between. It's that sort of permission structure that we have unleashed in this society that makes, sort of none of these really truly lone wolf incidents, because they are part of an environment that is normalizing political violence. What we don't know from the manifesto is, how did this radicalization process
We just caught our first glimpse of Cole Thomas Allen, the man who has now been charged over the shooting at the Washington Hilton Hotel here in Washington on the weekend. He was led into a courtroom in the courthouse behind me not that long ago, where he faced charges that include attempting to assassinate the President of the United States. That's an offense that carries a maximum sentence of life in prison. He was also charged with transporting a firearm across state lines with the intention of committing a felony, and of discharging a firearm while committing a violent crime. Cole Thomas Allen appeared very calm today. He was led into the courtroom by U.S. court marshals without handcuffs. He sat down, he calmly answered the judge's questions and was read his rights. He affirmed that he understood the legal processes that were at play and that he wasn't affected by any impairing drugs or medication or alcohol. The courtroom was packed. It was full of journalists and members of the public.
So he was in his right frame of mind, basically. He was in his right frame of mind. He knew what he was doing. Okay.
There will be additional charges as this investigation continues to unfold. But make no mistake, this was an attempted assassination of the President of the United States. On April 6th, that's when Cole Allen first made a hotel reservation at the Washington Hilton for 3 nights, the 24th, the 25th, and the 26th. It was on April 21st that he traveled all the way from the West Coast, from his home near LA. He gets to Chicago on April 23rd, and has been indicated he arrives in DC on the 24th, and he checks into the hotel at about 3 p.m. He stays overnight. He is very much aware that the president and the first lady enter the ballroom at 8 p.m. And it was at 8:40 that he made a decision to rush the ballroom.